Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to this full body stretch and strengthen. We're going to begin by standing up on our mat, legs and feet turned out in a wide second position. Then bending both knees, we're going to pulse here whilst we circle the arms 20 times outwards and 20 times inwards. Okay, off we go. Now to make this more challenging, we're going to lift up the heels and do 10 pulses on demi-point. If you like, you can lift up just one heel and do 5 and then switch the foot and do 5 on the other side. Off we go. And come down. Now we're going to add the arms. Taking the arms to 5th position above the head. As you bend the knees, you're going to bring the arms down and then back up to 5th. We'll do this 20 times. Now moving on to some squat extensions. You're going to squat down, bring the arms to 1st, then stretch the knees, reaching the arms forwards, flattening the back, bend the knees and straighten up. We'll do this 10 times. So you're trying to keep the spine as straight as possible throughout the exercise, and you're going to feel a stretch in the hamstrings as you straighten the knees and reach the arms forwards. This is also going to strengthen the quads and the glutes as well as the back. Now to strengthen the calves and ankles, we're going to do 10 élevés and 10 relevés. An élevé is where we rise up on straight legs, a relevé is where we bend before we rise. Off we go. Try not to let the ankles wobble as you do a rise, and you want to feel like your second toe is pressing into the floor, so there should be no weight on your baby toes. Try to maintain good posture throughout this exercise, and it helps to focus the eyes on something to keep your balance. Our next exercise is for stability and core strength. Starting with your leg in parallel retire, you're going to extend the leg to the back as you reach the opposite arm to your supporting leg down to the floor. We'll do this on a fondue and we'll repeat 5 times. You should try to make this movement as smooth as possible. Again, there should be no wobbling in the ankles, and as you bend your standing leg, the knee should be going straight over your toes. It helps to focus the eyes on something to keep your balance. So have one point that you can focus on when you're standing and one point that you can focus on when you're low in the fondue. Now switch over to the other side. Now lying back down on your mat, we're going to do some abs. Starting with some leg extension curls. Lifting your legs up into tabletop with your hands behind your head to protect your neck. You're going to extend one leg out, bring it back into tabletop, lie back down, repeat the movement on the other leg, and then again extending both legs at the same time, pulling in your tummy button all the way to the back of your spine. We're going to do 5 reps. You can add the breath with each leg extension. So breathing out as you extend the leg, breathing in as you lower back down. Hug your knees and relax. Another exercise for the lower abs, we're going to scissor the leg. So with both legs extended in the air, we're going to lower one leg down to the floor and then they're going to switch. Try not to lift the hips as you do this. You want to have a neutral spine for this exercise. Off we go with 20. It's important to pull in the lower abs and keep breathing normally. The lower you drop the legs, the harder it will be. Now hug your knees and relax. Now for our last ab exercise, we're also going to strengthen the obliques. Sitting up with your knees bent, arms in first position, you're going to rock back and open the arm out behind you. And sitting up, bring the arm back to first position, we're going to alternate sides 20 times. You can add the breath with this movement, so breathing out as you rock back and open the arm, breathing in as you sit back up. And relax. For our next exercise, we're going to work on the adductors. So lying on your back with your legs stretched up to the ceiling, you're going to drop the legs out to the side, bring them back in and beat them front back, squeezing your adductors. You can flex the feet for an extra challenge and for a deeper hamstring stretch here. Off we go. Try to keep your spine neutral, so as the legs drop, don't let the pelvis tilt up. Not only is this a great exercise if you're working on your middle splits, but it's also good for hip mobility. Now hug your knees and relax. Sitting back up, you're going to lie on your side with your elbow underneath your shoulder, your top leg bent and up on demi-point, knee pointing to the ceiling, and your lower leg extended out in front of you. Reaching your arm up, you're going to touch your hand to your foot. We're going to repeat this 10 times. Next, we're going to move on to the arms with some tricep side push-ups. Lying on your side, tucking your lower arm in, you're going to push yourself up using the top arm and then lower back down onto your shoulder. We're going to do this 10 times. Try not to lift your legs and avoid twisting your body, and lower yourself back down smoothly. Now stretch out the arms by locking your fingers and pulling the hands behind you. And we'll repeat everything on the other side. Now we're going to work on strengthening the back and the lats. Lying on your front with your arms by your side, you're going to reach the fingers down towards your feet and then lift the upper body off the floor. You can combine this with a breath, so as you pull down, you're going to breathe in. As you lift the upper body, you're going to breathe out. Try to keep the feet firmly on the floor and the neck long. We're going to do this 10 times. Sit back on your heels and stretch out in child's pose. Now for a side stretch, bring your hands over to one corner. And now stretch over to the other side. Now sitting back up, going onto your hands and knees, we're going to do some grand battement curls. So keeping the spine long, you're going to extend one leg to the back in arabesque and then bend in the knee. Going to repeat this 10 times on each side. If you like, for an extra challenge, you can add the arm. Off we go, 10 on each side. Make sure your wrists are directly below your shoulders. Not only does this exercise work on your arabesques, but it also increases the strength and mobility in your back, along with your core strength. And now repeat on the other side. For our next exercise, we're going to do some fire hydrant extensions in a bear plank. Now a bear plank is on all fours, then tucking your toes underneath so you're up on demi-pointe. In this position, you're then going to hitch the knee to the side, as we would do in our fire hydrant, bring it in and extend it to the back with a flexed foot. If you would like to do a modified version of this, you can come off the toes and just do a normal fire hydrant extension. We're going to do 10 on each leg. Make sure your neck is long, your wrists are underneath your shoulders, and your hip bones stay facing the floor, so you're not hitching or lifting the hips as you do your fire hydrant. This is a great exercise for the glutes, for the backs of the legs, for the arms, and for the core. It also gives a nice demi-pointe stretch. Now switch sides. Sit back on your heels and give the arms a stretch. Bring one arm across and pull it in, turning the head in the opposite direction. Now repeat on the other arm. We've been working the back and the arms a lot, so we're going to move on to an upper back stretch. On your hands and knees, you're going to slide one arm underneath until your shoulder touches the floor. Then relax in this position. Breathe normally. And now swap sides. Now for a deeper back stretch, we're going to do a seal stretch. So with your hands by your shoulders, you're going to push up, lifting the chin to the ceiling and stretching backwards. Now sit back on your heels and stretch out in child's pose. Moving on to a glute stretch. Lie on your back, lifting both legs up to the ceiling. Then cross one leg over the top with the knee to the side. Pass your hands underneath the knee of the straight leg and pull into your chest. Now swap over. Moving on to a hamstring stretch, extend one leg up to the sky, make sure both knees are stretched, and hold onto your leg, keeping it straight and in front of your nose. Try to keep both hip bones down on the floor. And now swap over. You don't have to hold onto the lower leg, you can hold onto the thigh if you prefer, but don't hold behind the knee. And relax. We're going to do an even deeper stretch for the back. This is a pancake stretch, so if you do have any back or neck problems, you might want to miss this one out. However, for the more flexible among you, we're going to lift the legs up to the ceiling, bend the knees, and you can either stay here or you can stretch the legs out behind you with your arms on the floor. Then you're going to alternate between bending each knee and lower back down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Moving on to our hip flexor stretch. We're going to lunge forwards, tuck the toes underneath and stretch the back knee. You can also do this turning out the back leg. This is a great stretch for opening out the hip, as well as stretching the hip flexor. If you want to add a quad stretch, you can pick up the back foot, and for a deeper stretch, you can hold onto it and pull it in towards you. You might want to place something under your knee for this stretch. Now for our hamstrings, we're going to do a runner's stretch. Extending one leg in front of you, reaching the arms up to the ceiling, flexing the foot, and then bringing the hands down to the floor. Drop the head and relax into this stretch. If your hands can't touch the floor yet, you can hold on to something like a wall or a chair. For a deeper hip flexor stretch, you're going to do a pelvic tuck before you go forwards. You won't be able to go as far forwards in the previous hip flexor stretch. Now pushing up into a parallel fourth for another hamstring stretch, hands down and dropping the chin. Swiveling round to a parallel second, holding onto your elbows, and just hang here. You can bend the knees and sway the upper body to stretch out the spine. Swiveling round, and we'll repeat everything on the other side. So starting with our parallel fourth stretch. And now putting the knee down and moving on to our hip flexor stretch. Adding the optional quad stretch. And now moving on to our runner's stretch. You don't have to flex the foot here, but it does give a deeper hamstring stretch. Tucking the pelvis and pushing forward into our deep hip flexor stretch. Great. Sitting back down, stretching both legs in front of you, flexing the feet, you're going to reach up and then reach the hands towards the feet. Don't worry if you're not there yet, you can hold onto the knees or the shins. Dropping the chin down and relaxing into this stretch. Moving the legs now into our butterfly stretch, holding onto the feet, lengthening the spine, breathing in, and then as you exhale, dropping the head down to the toes. If you want to work on your turnout here, you can press your elbows into your knees to open out the hips. Now opening the legs out into your box splits. Keeping the back nice and tall, bringing one arm up and over, sit bones down, we're going to stretch to the side. Try and keep the neck long here. Now tuck in the chin and curve the spine. Now switch sides. Keep breathing normally. Walk the hands forwards, and if you can, get your palms flat on the floor. If this is too easy, you can bend the elbows. And if you're very mobile, you can bring the whole body down to the floor. But it's important that the ankle bones don't roll forwards here, so keep your turnout and keep the legs rotated. Sit back up, shunt forwards a little bit if you can, and go again. For a deeper stretch, you can flex the feet. Moving on to a demi-point stretch. This is a great one for any dancers among you. We're also going to combine an arm stretch, so with one arm up and one arm reaching under. Try to keep the neck long here. It doesn't matter if your fingers aren't touching it. Then swap the arms. Come off the toes and give them a break. Bend the knees, tuck the chin in. Now, walk the hands out into your pyramid stretch, your downwards dog. And we're going to add a calf stretch, so lifting up one heel and pressing the other down into the floor. We're going to alternate each side. If your hands aren't all the way down, you could do this holding onto something like a chair, or you can just do a normal calf stretch standing up. Now bend your knees, roll up through the spine, and we're done. Good job, that completes our full body stretch for today. Don't forget to check out the other stretch and strengthen videos in this series.